Hey everyone, Jamie here with this Let's Play of Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition on PlayStation 4. This is a blind playthrough. I somehow, in my time playing games, I have managed to miss Icewind Dale. I've got another Let's Play on the go on my channel about Planescape Torment, which is incredible and my favourite game ever. And somehow I missed Icewind Dale. Now Beamdog, kindly, must have known this. It's clearly just for me, because they've put the two games together on one disc. So they've got my favourite game ever, and they've said, you know what, Jamie, you didn't play Icewind Dale. I tell you what, let's stick that on the same disc, and you can have a playthrough of that. So I am kindly taking that offer, and I'm going to do this Let's Play for Icewind Dale. I have no idea what I'm in store for. I don't know if this game's amazing, if it's more mediocre. I am not sure. I have read that it won some awards. Its musical score in particular seems to have come out a couple of times when I've done a bit of Googling, which is good. I can the music's playing in the background here. Sounds quite interesting. And I know nothing about the story other than the text that's at the bottom here. That something stirs beneath Icewind Dale. Gather your party, adventure through the frozen wilds of the north, and confront an evil that lurks beneath the spine of the world. I know it's set in Faerun, so that's the same world as Baldur's Gate. So I don't know if we see any characters from Baldur's Gate. I know it's made by the same studio, so perhaps there are some characters that come up. Fingers crossed for Minsk and Boo. Although I don't think so. But yeah, we're going to get stuck right into this. Now, I did have a quick look around, and I noticed that there's a couple of things here. So, we've got the main game. And in the main game, it tells us that in the northernmost reaches of the Forgotten Realms lies the region of icy tundra known as Icewind Dale. This is a harsh and unforgiving territory settled by only the hardiest folk and beset by cunning, ferocious beasts that prowl the snow-shrouded peaks. Prepare well for your journey into the frozen wilds, for you will soon uncover an evil that schemes to wreak destruction upon all the world. So it's quite high stakes then. But then there's this as well. So Heart of Winter, a barbarian army rallies in the north led by a legendary hero returned from the dead. They always come back, don't they? All of Icewind Dale stands on the brink of war and annihilation. But is this new barbarian king all that he claims to be? To find out, you must journey north to the secluded town of Lonelywood, forestall the invasion, and discover the secret that lies locked within the frozen heart of winter. That, as far as I understand it, is kind of post-main game stuff. So you have to go through this, and then you go into that. And I think you have to be a certain level to go on to Heart of Winter. So we're going to play the main game first, and then do Heart of Winter after. And let's get into this. Now, I did have a quick play around to get used to the controls. They're actually the same as Planescape, which is really handy. I will mention, actually, with Planescape, my playthrough is currently on hiatus. Not because I've fallen out of love with the game. I mean, I couldn't. I just enjoy it so much. But because I've actually come across a few glitches. So I've submitted a query with Beamdog and hoping that they'll release a patch, because I've seen other people are finding glitches as well. The one I'm getting is if I talk to a merchant or trader and try and sell items to them, the game just dies, crashes, black screen, then an error report appears. I've read other people can't get quests to progress, so they get so far and then they've got the magical item that they need, or they've spoken to the right people, and it just will not tick off that they've done that to let them to progress to the next stage. So it seems as though it's a little bit it's a little bit problematic. There's a few things wrong with it. So I am hopeful. They have been quite good in terms of messaging back. I am hopeful that they'll release a patch soon, get it fixed, and I can just continue on with Planescape. But it gives me an opportunity to play Icewind Dale, explore this title, and yeah, see what it's all about. Now on this, we have something a little bit different. So in Planescape, you wake up, you're the Nameless One, and you go on the Nameless One's adventure. In this, you actually make your whole party of characters. So you've got 6 characters, you make them all. There are preloaded characters, and I'm going to use them for the most part, but I'm actually going to make one character. I'll let you see the options, and I'll try and keep it concise as I can. I'll probably split this video into 2 parts. So the first part will be, exploring this character, maybe seeing the intro video, and then the second part will be actually some gameplay. So if you're not interested in making characters, yeah, you can skip ahead. And if it is in this video, I'll do a timestamp. I'll let you know when you can skip to in the comments. So let's go into single player and pre-generate a character this time. So this is 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons again. What I knew is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons AD&D. So the same rules apply that are in Planescape, as in the same statistics. So you've still got, you know, your strength, your intelligence, dexterity, all that sort of jazz. This time, because you're making a character from scratch rather than being the nameless one, you're given a little bit more freedom in terms of the race of your character, the class. And remember, you can make all of your party here. You can actually make all 6 characters and use your own sort of custom party. That takes forever. You'll see that this is going to take a few minutes to go through to make one character. So to do that 6 times is a little bit time consuming. And also, you're making these characters, they're really just playing a part within a party, and it's what the party achieves is the story, as far as I understand. So it's not that you're picking from pre-made characters who have got their own banter, their own their own personalities that they're affecting each other with, as you would in Planescape. You know, the party interaction is really important in Planescape, and it helps progress the story. In this, as far as I know, it doesn't have that. It doesn't have the banter. Really, you're just given 6 tools. I'm not being that in the derogatory sense. Six pieces on the playing board, of which you can go off and do this adventure. So I really hope the story is interesting, because the character side of things, it's not the same as Planescape. It's probably not going to be as immersive, I guess. All right, let's have a look then. So we can either make them male or female. I'll choose male just now, and I'll show you the portraits here. So they're preloaded. I remember, was it Baldur's Gate? Or maybe someone was telling me about this years ago when this came out, which is back in, the year 2000, I believe. This is an old game as well. The images were the same. So these are the character images here. So they kind of suggest what race they are, like an elf. That could be, I don't know, an elf or a human, I guess. You can kind of guess, maybe a gnome from these, or a halfling, maybe like a little halfling thief. So you can use a bit of poetic license on what these images mean. You know, what class it might be, what race they might be. You can choose that. These are preloaded ones. I'm sure back in the old days on PC you could actually import your own pictures. It doesn't seem to have the option on this. I guess, you don't really use your PlayStation for going on the internet. You can. And you can make screenshots and stuff. So I suppose they could have added that function in, or maybe had an online store or something like that where you could buy more pictures. Or hopefully not buy. I hate microtransactions, but you know what I mean. Download more pictures. But these are the ones we've got. There's half-orcs in there as well. So I'm only going to make one character here, and I'm going to replace someone in the original party, the pre-generated party, with the character I make. So I've got to think about what kind of class I want them to be. I think I want them to be a thief. I think I want them to be a halfling, just because I like halfling thieves. So let's go with this guy. Race. So you've got the standard races from Dungeons and Dragons: humans, elves, half-elves, which are the mix of humans and elves, dwarves, halflings, gnomes, and half-orcs. So I'm going to choose a halfling. Which back then, halflings were basically Lord of the Rings halflings. They've changed a little bit in the different iterations of Dungeons and Dragons, the different versions that they've got. I remember, I think it was 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons. They were a lot tougher. They weren't to be messed with. Whereas back in this time, they were curly-haired, Samwise Gamgees. So when you see the artwork, it's kind of got a sense of that. Although this guy, he looks quite dangerous. He's got a couple of daggers there. He's not using them to cut up his chicken for dinner, is he? They're a bit more dangerous looking than that. Class. Okay. So because I've chosen halfling, this list is shorter. If you choose, let's just say, I know I'm not going to say that this is what he's going to do, but it's just let you see. There you go. So humans can basically be anything. You've got a whole range of different classes here. Let me have a look now. Yeah, so a lot of these from the name you can probably guess, but fighter, yeah, good at hand, you know, close range combat. Ranger, someone who lives in the wilds, kind of like Strider from Lord of the Rings. Paladin, your kind of holy knight, uses a big sword covered in plate mail armor. Clerics are your religious types, good at healers. Druids are kind of the nature version of a cleric, I guess. They worship nature, they can heal as well, some can transform into animals. Mages are wizards, spellcasters. Thieves is what I'm going to go for, so a pickpocket, someone who can open locks, that sort of thing. Bards, it says jack of all trades. I remember bards being just the extra guy. So you had a party, had a role, and then you had the bard, who was this extra guy who just played music all the time, sung songs, wrote poetry, this extra person. The bards definitely were that role. They were a support role. They could boost the kind of abilities of the rest of the party, but more than that, not really my sort of thing. We've got sorcerers who have, rather than a mage who studies magic and learns spells from reading books, sorcerers have this innate ability to cast spells. So kind of like someone who's born with the magical gift rather than someone who studied for it. Monks aren't your Friar Tuck types. They're your Kung Fu Panda monk. You know, they don't use weapons. They just punch people to death. Well, karate chop them to death. Kung Fu kind of masters. And shaman, I don't remember shaman being a class. Maybe I just missed that somehow. Or maybe it was in like an add-on book back in 2nd edition. But it says here the shamans forge a divine connection with the natural world, similar to the way druids do, but more spiritual than primal. So they directly tap into the energies that flow through the earth. Yeah. They can summon powerful animals as guardians and defenders. So rather than becoming an animal, they summon one. So yeah, a little bit different. So it's just to let you see the classes. But I'm going to go my halfling and thief. Now within each of these, and I don't want to take 5 hours going through all this, because I could. Within each of these, there's subclasses. So almost specialties. You can take on some extra abilities and lose some others from your default class. So thief is the starter class. I could just be a thief, who's a kind of all-rounder with all things thiefy. Or I could specialise. So I could be an assassin, a killer trained in discreet and efficient murder, relying on anonymity and surprise to perform his task. A bounty hunter, a hunter of men skilled in tracking quarry and bringing them back alive. A swashbuckler, a rogue is part acrobat, part swordsman, and part wit, the epitome of charm and grace. Or a shadow dancer, can harness the power of magic to increase their stealth abilities. Enigmatic and dangerous, these uniquely skilled thieves are able to blend seamlessly into the shadows in ways that a normal thief cannot, striking without warning, sometimes with supernatural speed. I mean, that's selling it to me, to be honest, that right up. What's the disadvantages, right? So we've got advantages here. Each class has got advantages and disadvantages when you choose them, these kind of subclasses. So he's got a bonus to hiding. You can hide in plain hide in plain sight, I should say. Freudian slip there. He may hide in shadows even while being observed. Poof, I'm gone. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. He may cast Shadow Step once per day. Gains, what's Shadow Step? Okay, step into the shadow plane and move for 7 seconds while others are frozen in time. You can't attack or cast spells while in the shadow plane. And he's got a slippery mind. A greased up mind, slippery weasel. +1 bonus to saving throws, alright. His alignment's restricted to non-lawful. Any non-lawful, okay, that's fine. So he could be chaotic good, he could still be a good guy. -1 to backstab multiplier, okay. Sneak attacks. If 3E sneak attack is enabled, what the hell's that? 3E. Is that 3rd edition? Who knows? We'll find out. Crippling strikes. So his sneak attack's not as good. So that's weird. So he's extra sneaky. Super sneaky, in fact. But when he actually then jumps out on people and attacks them, it does less damage. I suppose they've got to balance it somehow, is the idea. He still can backstab. To hell with it. Right. Shadow Dancer. Alignment. Oh, he could... Oh, yeah, I suppose it could be neutral as well if it's just anything non-normal. He's going to be chaotic good, though. Strong individualist marked by a streak of kindness and benevolence. So, he will kill you with kindness. Let's go with that. Abilities. I think these are points that... Jesus, it's... I don't know if this is predetermined. I mean, I can change this, right? Dexterity 19, that's good. Yes, really good. Oh, and it's got minimums as well, so to be that class, you have to have a minimum. 19. Strength 17, that's good as well. I mean, he's only a halfling though, right? I'm not saying that if you're short, you can't be strong, but remember, this is like a Lord of the Rings halfling, so he's probably not going to be particularly strong. I'm going to put that down. Now, I know that's not beneficial, really. I'm going to put his charisma up, just for giggles. Let's just do it. It's my character, I'll decide. It's my party. I'll do what I want. Skills. Okay. Jesus, there's a lot of choices in here. This is why I'm not making 6 characters, right? So, I've got 2 proficiency slots. Okay, right. And these are the different weapons that I can put these 2 points against. That's just 1. I think if I remember rightly, it's only fighters or fighter-type classes that can have more than 1 point in a weapon, so they can become kind of more mastered at a particular weapon. This is giving you a little bonus. Now, I don't know what kind of weapons I'm going to get through this game. I've no idea. So, I'm just going to have to go and hope that, you know, you will get a Wakizashi or Ninjato through the game. Fingers crossed. You know, if I chose that. 2 weapon style. Yeah, this picture's got 2 daggers in it. 2 weapon style. Daggers or short swords? Thief. Short swords, let's go with that. Right, and then skills. Move over there. It's got to be hide in shadows, right? 50. Open locks, yes. Find traps. I mean, you've got a, it's pretty low, I'll put that up. I think that's going to help. Okay. Appearance. Ah, okay. I mean, that's... Hang on, let's... What does his picture? So he's got a kind of green cloak, a brown top. Can't tell what colour his hair is, so we can just decide. Right, so his hair's fine, his skin's fine. Right, clothing. It's kind of green. Check out the graphics, by the way. Whoo! Oh, my. I mean, it's not really his cloak, though, is it? That's... What's this mine a bit? The trim? Oh, well, he's going to be green. If he's brown, he's going to be a bit like... doesn't really stand out. Let's just go back a second. Let's have a look at this. He's definitely got a green cloak, green gloves. But a brown body. Okay, let's just make him green. I didn't like that green that I had there, though. That was a bit too green. That's cool. Right, we'll go with that kind of dark green. And then trim colour. Or maybe we'll make that brown. Yeah, we'll go brown with that. Okay. Right, done. And then voices. Alright, okay.
Here I come, and the hells come with me.
That's a bit too deep for him, I think. I've got this image that he's a little bit higher than that.
Here I come, and the hells come with me.
I wonder if it's class specific. Yes, okay, right, we've got 2 thief ones. Fingers crossed one of these will work.
The silent blade cuts best.
I mean, that's... yeah.
Ah, I should get some good scouting done up here. Find a secluded place to camp. The shadows call to me.
Oh, that's got to be it. I'll just check the other one, but I think we're going with that.
I'll take care of it. That's fine with me. Getting pretty tired. Oh. Need some help.
I mean, that sounds nicer. He is chaotic good.
The silent blade cuts best.
I mean, that doesn't sound...
I should get some good scouting done up here. Find a secluded place to camp. The shadows call to me.
I mean, it does mention shadows. Right, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. A name. Here we go. Right, let's enter a name. So, I don't know if... Oh, sugar. Excuse me a second. I don't know if this was a name that one of my old Dungeons and Dragons playing pals had for a character or not, but it always seems to have stuck with me. Cade Thorncage. It might be a name from some sort of Dungeons and Dragons book, maybe. I don't know, or one of the names from a random Dungeons and Dragons game or something. I don't know. But Cade is the name of the character. Right, let's export him. We have exported him, and we'll actually try a new game. Here we go. Opening video.
They say that history is the greatest of all teachers, and that tales of past deeds define who we are in the present, and what we shall be in the future. It is said that such tales shall, with each telling, illuminate us all with the light of truth. I shall tell you of such a tale. It is a tale quite familiar to me, for I have spent nearly a lifetime piecing it together and chronicling it here within this book. For years I have pondered its passages, studying every line, committing each word to memory. Perhaps now, in the telling of it, I shall at last find the answers I seek. Our story takes place in the northern region of Faerun, known as Icewind Dale. It is a harsh, frozen land, cut off from the rest of the world by a wall of jagged peaks called the Spine of the World. For centuries, the icy plains of the Dale have been home to the barbarian peoples of the Uthgard and Regedmund. Huddled together in small, closely knit tribes, the barbarians lived simple lives, free, proud, and fiercely independent. Until the day an archmage named Erakan came to Icewind Dale. With an army of mercenaries, Erakan sought to conquer the north and force the fierce barbarians into slavery. Long weeks of battle followed, and the scattered barbarian tribes suffered terrible losses. Defeat seemed inevitable. In their darkest hour, a barbarian shaman named Jared came forth and demanded a council between all the remaining tribes of the north. A respected warrior, Jared persuaded the council to put aside their differences and unite against Erakan. Strengthened by a new sense of purpose, the barbarians rallied behind their new leader. The combined might of the Northmen proved more than a match for Erakan, who had counted on the division of the tribes. Wave after wave of barbarian warriors tore into Erakan's hired army, forcing them on the defensive and ultimately into full retreat. As his army crumbled around him, Erakan had time for one last desperate act before his enemies descended upon him. Drawing upon his remaining power, the Archmage breached the planar boundaries, tearing open a portal to the lower planes. The foolish Archmage's cries of victory immediately turned to shrieks of terror as the hideous and twisted shapes of demonkind materialized from the portal and poured onto the battlefield. The sudden appearance of the demons drove the combatants, barbarian and mercenary alike, to turn to meet the new threat side by side. The remaining warriors bravely charged the portal to drive the hellspawn back and were slaughtered by the hundreds. As his people fell around him, the barbarian shaman, Jared, looked up from the blood-drenched snow of the battlefield and caught sight of a lone figure high upon a ridge in the distance. Jared immediately recognized this vision as an omen from his god Tempus, and in that instant, he knew what had to be done. Shouting cries to his god, he charged through the ranks of the demons and plunged into the portal. As Jared's blood fused with the energies of the portal, an explosion of white light engulfed the battlefield. When the light subsided, the demons were gone, and the portal was closed. In its place hovered a disk of solid stone. Frozen within the center of the disk was Jared's body, locked in his final moment of agony, in his final moment of triumph for all eternity. But that is not the end of our tale. It is but the beginning.
Okay, pretty cool opening video there. I imagine that's exactly as it was when it was first released. It looks quite pixely on my telly, so yeah, I don't think they did much to that, which is fine. They didn't do anything to the Planescape one either, and I was quite happy with that. Okay, so this is the pre-made party. We've got these different characters now. I can check who they are or what they are. So he's a level 1. Well, they're all level 1. This is the start of our adventure. He's a Berserker. Pretty good stats, very strong. At 18/93, it was... I don't know why it didn't just go to 1920. I mean, the 19 exists as well, get your head around that. But for some reason, in this version of Dungeons & Dragons, they had normal numbers for everything else. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then 18. When you got to 18, there was then a percentage dice that you rolled, and the closer to 100, you were even stronger within 18. So he's 1893, so he's really, really strong, which is good, which means he'll do lots of damage. So we've got a Berserker, we've got a Fighter Thief, who is, I would imagine, yeah, Halfling. Okay, you might be getting punted, sorry. We've got a multi-class Cleric Ranger, interesting. Okay, multi-class, alright, fair enough. We've got a Mage, an Undead Hunter, which is a type of Paladin, lawful good, and a Bard. A Bard! I was bad-mouthing the Bards, and here's one here. I don't see the point, though, in having 2 thieves, so we're going to get rid of Kurika. Well, there are only 1 namers. Oh well, Cade obviously has a high opinion of him. Oh no, I don't want to make someone. Can I not import someone? Hang on. Yeah, there's import there. So these are the ones that are already in the party. Here we go, Cade. Do I have to change that? Nope, that's fine. Oh, choose the voice again. It was the bottom one, wasn't it?
The Silent Blade.
Yeah, he's Cade. Done. Accept. Okay. So everyone else is single names, and he's decided, no. You will full name me. I'm Cade Thorncage. Okay, right. I'm quite happy with that. I think we've got all the bases covered. We've got a couple of fighters, a healer, a bard. Everyone needs someone who plays the lute, don't they? It's vital. You know what? Where are we going? We're going into the frozen north. What do we need? Oh, you got the person who can play the guitar. Yes, right, perfect. We've got a mage who will be able to zap enemies, and we've got a thief who can find traps, open locks, sneak about a bit, be a bit of a scout. Okay, perfect. Let's play. All right. Okay, difficulties. Okay, so story mode. The party gains all the benefits of easy, and they cannot die. That seems a bit too much. I'm not too interested in it being like crazy hard though. I'm really just doing this for the story. I don't want it to be so easy though that I'm invincible. Like if someone dies, well, I don't want anyone to die, but you know what I mean. I want it to feel a bit dangerous when I'm in a fight. Right up to insane, right? Enemies have all the benefits of insane difficulty as well as significantly more hit points, improved tackle, which is the dice roll that it does behind the scenes to see if you get hit or not. Better saving throws and more attacks per round. Oh, you cannot change it. Alright, no, let's just go easy.
Ready.
Our tale begins here, in the quiet fishing village of East Haven, one of the so-called 10 towns of Icewind Dale. The tiny community is hardly a town, but rather a collection of ramshackle huts crowded together upon the icy shores of Lech Dinashir. Here, within a dimly lit tavern, a group of travelers sit huddled around a table, swapping tales and making grand plans for the future, completely unaware of the part they are to play in the events that are about to unfold.
Well, that text is running really slowly, huh? Because the guy's read it all, and it's still scrolling. I guess it's, you know, maybe people read slower than you would listen. I don't know, I would be able to keep up with that. Anyway, right, done. Let's get stuck in.